Hey guys, Duke here. I wanted to talk to you today all about how to make a 6-star mob quickly and efficiently. At its heart, Summoner's War is a resource management game. There are 4 resources that will help you to make a 6-star mob: time, energy, mana, and crystals. One of the most efficient ways to level up your fodder or your monsters that you will use later to evolve would be in hell mode scenarios. Chiruka is the most energy efficient. Anything Feyman or above, even Haideni, for example. Haideni is very time efficient, meaning that this stage 5 can be cleared in a matter of seconds by a lot of wind double AoE mobs, such as Lucian, Amir, etc. But it doesn't give quite as much experience per energy as, let's say, Chiruka, which is going to be more energy efficient, but it takes more time because the mobs are tougher. You want to do hell modes in general. Now, you can use your friend's reps here. So fire reps, for example, this fire Chimera here might be able to do Chiruka Hell. And if I had this situation in which I use my friend's rep, then all of the experience is actually going to go to the other 3 monsters. None of the experience taken up by the rep. If I used my own mob here, the experience is split evenly among all 4 monsters. Because my Beretta there is max level, he wouldn't get any experience. That makes this inefficient. So you want to use up all of your friend's reps here each day if you want to be really efficient about leveling up your monsters. Another way that you can be efficient is by actually putting runes on the monster that you're planning to max level. For example, I threw some vampire runes on Trevor, and you can watch here, and actually I'm using the wrong leader skill. I should make the Fire Harpy leader. You can watch here that even though he's only level 33, Trevor can actually solo Chiruka Hell with those vampire runes. Now, this is a very energy efficient way to level. However, it's not very time efficient. As you can see, it's fairly slow, but it's safe. Because what happens is as he takes more damage, he actually does more damage, and then he just heals himself back up to full each time. So this is the basic way to level monsters. The only way to level them is if you have food or fodder monsters, though. Where do you get that? Fodder is oftentimes given via scrolls, but you can also get it by actually just running these scenarios that'll drop some food monsters for you. I also like to simply farm runes. Giants, dragons, and necro will give you both fodder and mana. Because sometimes you're going to get rainbow mons. I get a lot of rainbow mons from those dungeons. You also are going to get mystic scrolls from those dungeons, which you can use for food, or maybe a good summon. Now, if you have a lot of mana, then unknown scrolls is actually another good source of fodder. It's not time efficient. It takes time to open up all those scrolls, but you can actually get a lot of food by opening unknown scrolls, feeding all the 1-star mobs to other 1-star mobs to level those up to 2-star mobs, and then leveling up 2- and 3-star mobs in these scenarios. Okay, so those are a couple of different ways to get fodder. Now, of course, if you buy packs, which I don't, then you could actually, or if you buy crystals, you could use those crystals or use those packs to get additional food monsters through summons. So there are a few different ways to get those summons. Now, what if you're free to play? How can you get more crystals? First thing you want to do is Arena. Arena each week will help to refill your crystals. That's how I do it. I typically end Guardian 1 to 3, and so I'll get a few hundred crystals through that, depending on how much time I have to do Arena that week. Then you can also fight the rivals. Those give you crystals as well. Events are a great way to get crystals, and TOA also gives you quite a few crystals. Now, there's another way to level up your monsters that's very time efficient, but it's actually not very energy efficient, and that would be Rift. You always want to do hard if you can, and I don't have enough energy here, but I'll just go ahead and recharge so I can show you. Refilling energy is a pretty efficient use of crystals, by the way. So in this case, you can't get help from friends, so you want to use a mob that can solo pretty well. I just use Vero. You could also use a Vampire Rune Trevor or a Ramagos, for example, on the harder levels that maybe Vero might be in danger of. But there are plenty of mobs that you could use that could farm this. I think probably even Lucian could do this level pretty easily. And you only want to have one mob and 4 mobs to level up. When you're here using your dimensional crystals, you get a lot of experience, but it costs a lot of energy. So one way to really maximize that is this. You want to save up until you have 10 crystals, dimensional crystals, and then in the daily challenge, there's also going to be 3 more crystals, so make sure you have that saved up. And then, so that's 13 total, then you can pop this 12-hour double EXP, and if you don't have one from an event or from an evolution, you can actually buy this as well in the cash shop here. Sorry, I think it's in the special. Yeah, sorry, special cash shop. And you can buy the 1-day or 3-day booster. A lot of people ask which one you should get. The 1-day booster is good for people who have time to use up all that double EXP in 1 day. It's also good for people who don't have too much fodder, because you might find yourself running out of actual mobs to level up if you have 3 full days. All right, now the 3-day booster is good for people who don't have a lot of time to level up in a single day, and instead you'd have to spread it out over multiple days. Then you can do the 3-day booster. But remember that it works really well in conjunction with those dimensional crystals. But you're going to have a lot of crystals on hand to refill your energy if you're going to use this. Because if you notice, like the 6 here, dimensional crystals times 30 energy each that I have, that would actually cost 180 energy, which is already going to be a couple of refills. But again, refilling energy is worth it. It's probably the most efficient use of crystals you have. All right, so hopefully that was useful for you. If you found it useful, like it and subscribe to keep them coming. Thanks, everyone. Good luck with your 6-star mobs.